Islam Makhachev didn't just walk out of Philadelphia with his welterweight title still around his waist. He walked out with a message for the entire division, and it wasn't a subtle one. UFC 330 closed with Makhachev grinding out a hard-fought decision over Machado Garry, a fight that tested him more than most expected. Garry pushed the pace, landed real shots, and made the champion work for every round. But when the scorecards were read, Makhachev's hand went up, and the celebration barely started before the next question hit the room: who does he fight next? Because while all eyes were on the cage, something else was brewing in the crowd. Carlos Prates and Michael Morales, the two men most people already had penciled in as the next challenger, were caught on camera getting into it live at the event. No punches, but plenty of tension, with both men clearly aware that only one of them is walking away with the title shot. Makhachev wasn't shy about picking a side. Sitting down for the Paramount Plus post-fight show, he made his preference clear in a matter of seconds. He pointed to activity. Prates has stayed busy, most recently taking out former champion Jack Della Maddalena, while Morales, undefeated at 19-0, hasn't fought since last November. For a champion who prides himself on staying sharp, that gap matters. Now the pressure shifts to the UFC front office. Does the promotion follow Makhachev's lead and hand Prates the shot, or does an unbeaten record from Morales carry more weight in the matchmaking room? Either way, this rivalry just got a lot more personal, and it's only going to get louder before a decision is made.
Bro, we have to fight before Ramadan, 100%.
Before Ramadan, okay. You're shooting for January.
Of course. January, end of the year, I have to fight.
Even the end of this year?
Yeah, because I'm not like 20-somethings. I'm 34 years old, and I have to fight soon as possible because I'm not cut much weight. I don't have like any big injuries, just have to maybe double check my nose. That's it. It's more tough guys, you know, more big guys. With all respect, they are the most powerful division right now. That's why we fight all 5 rounds, you know, with all respect. They are guys very tough. Maddalena, Garry, Prates, Morales, Shavkat. It's not secret. You guys all life in this sport, and you know it's more hardest division in UFC right now.
Machado Garry wasn't about to let one decision loss define how he felt about the biggest fight of his career. The Irishman came up short against Islam Makhachev in the UFC 330 main event, dropping to just the second loss of his professional run. And in defeat, Makhachev actually made history, snapping Anderson Silva's 14-year record for the longest win streak in UFC history. Not exactly the kind of footnote Garry wanted attached to his name. Dana White had built this fight up as a real threat to the champion, pointing to Garry's size and his striking, and for stretches of the fight, that threat looked real. Garry found his rhythm in the third round, landing heavy shots to the body, and did it again in round 4 when Makhachev's pace dipped. But every time Garry created an opening, he'd back off and show respect at the horn, hugging it out with Makhachev round after round. That respect didn't sit well with the UFC boss. Dana White was blunt in his criticism after the fight, saying Garry lacked the killer instinct needed to actually finish the job when he had the chance. Garry didn't wait long to respond. Hours after the fight, he posted straight to Instagram, refusing to let the loss break his spirit. He called Makhachev arguably the greatest fighter the sport has ever produced, and said he pushed him to the wire, and that's the part he's choosing to be proud of. So what's next for the future? One name is already circling. Michael Morales, who served as the official backup for this very fight, reportedly had a tense backstage exchange with Garry after the bout. If the UFC wants a fresh, high-stakes matchup at welterweight, that confrontation might have just written the blueprint for it.
Minha família não chuta boxe. Caraca. Nessa luta é muito importante pra mim. Te amo muito. Te amo junto e desculpa. Desculpa pra mim é problema eu não perder nessa luta. Não tem desculpas, não tem nada. Eu senti ótimo antes da luta. Eu dançar com minha família aqui, dançar antes na preparação. Te amo muito, te amo junto. Sempre voltar melhor. I love you all. We'll be better, we'll be back.
Arman Tsarukyan is speaking out, and he's not holding back. The lightweight contender says he never got an offer to fight Diego Lopes, and now he's pointing the finger squarely at how the UFC handles its favorites. Here's the backstory. Lopes recently claimed he could have faced Tsarukyan when he made the jump up to 155, but Tsarukyan tells a different version of events. According to him, he was actually lined up to fight Charles Oliveira for his return, before a late change flipped the entire plan. It all came to a head on Friday, when a reporter tried to ask Dana White directly whether Tsarukyan had originally been booked against Oliveira. White brushed the question off without giving a real answer, but that didn't stop Tsarukyan from addressing it himself in a string of interviews afterward. He says the only fight actually offered to him after Oliveira withdrew from a planned rematch was Mauricio Ruffi, not Lopes, not anyone else. And when it comes to why Lopes keeps getting the spotlight, Tsarukyan believes it's simple business. The promotion likes him, and they're protecting his position on the roster. There's already chatter that Lopes could end up across the cage from Oliveira next, though Oliveira may step away from competition for a while following the death of his teammate. There's also a name from further back in the conversation. Tsarukyan says Benoit Saint-Denis was floated as a possible opponent months ago, before that option quietly disappeared. Saint-Denis was finished by Paddy Pimblett last month, which takes both men out of the running for September anyway.
Were there any other names besides Ruffi that they offered to you? Because there were some rumors that even Diego Lopes was trying to fight and go up in the lightweight. Was he a name they offered to you at all?
No, they're gonna save Diego Lopes.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
they like Diego Lopes and they save him.
So do you think a win, you're guaranteed the next shot at Justin Gaethje? Because a lot of people think Justin is holding out for these big money fights and maybe doesn't want to fight the younger generation right now.
In this sport, not everything is guaranteed.
Sure.
You gotta be ready, you gotta beat. If they give me one more fight, I'll beat. 10 more fights, I'll beat, and eventually I become a champion.
And did I see you're wrestling Dylan Danis next to RAF? How much security is going to have to be there between you guys, given what him and Hamza went through like a couple months ago?
Let's see.
Sure.
So, but I hope nothing happened. We just go there, wrestle, and I whoop his ass, and then go home.
While Tsarukyan waits for his shot back in the octagon, he's staying anything but idle. 9 months removed from submitting Dan Hooker in Qatar, the lightweight contender finally has his return locked in. He'll co-headline UFC 331 in Los Angeles on September 19th, sharing the card with Alexandre Pantoja's flyweight title defense against Joshua Van. His opponent for that comeback, Mauricio Ruffi, the same fighter he says was the only offer actually put in front of him. But the octagon isn't the only place Tsarukyan has been busy. Since his last UFC appearance, he's competed 12 times across grappling and wrestling. He choked out Muhammad Makhachev, submitted Mehibe Dulev, and finished popular Indian influencer Ankit Bayyanpuria, all under the Hype FC banner. On the wrestling side, he's carved out a reputation as one of real American freestyle's biggest stars, picking up wins over Tony Ferguson, Giorgio Poulos, and Uriah Faber. His only blemish across those 12 outings came against Colby Covington. Now he's setting his sights on a new challenge entirely. Tsarukyan already has a bout with Dylan Danis lined up after UFC 331, but he's hoping Dana White will hand him a shot in Zuffa boxing too. He says every side quest has sharpened a different part of his game, from his submissions to his takedowns, and boxing is the next box he wants to check. There's one name he keeps coming back to when he talks about the boxing ring, and it's a familiar one: Islam Makhachev.
How do you feel everything you've done over this past year, all the grappling matches, the wrestling matches, how has that improved you as an MMA fighter?
I improved my grappling. So I used to spar and I cannot submit a lot of people, but right now I submit every round, and I improve it, especially in the grappling. And then REF came, I started wrestling, and like when I now like on the clinch or when I'm like taking the legs or like shoot double legs, I take down. There is like way better than before. So I improved my freestyle wrestling as well. So now it's time to work on my boxing. Maybe after this fight Dana led me to box, and then I improve my boxing too.
Yeah, there you go. I saw Islam told me that Turki Al-Sheikh said he wants to have him do a boxing match in Zuffa boxing. Maybe that's how you guys ultimately get your fight done.
Yeah, would be great. Would be great. Me versus Islam. It didn't happen the second time, but maybe like on the boxing it's happened.
Yeah.
That's it from MMA Time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA updates.